Hello everyone, welcome back. I know it's been a little while since I've recorded these videos, but I just wanted to kind of get back on track. I apologize. We've been sick and there's been a couple family events going on, so it's taken up some time. But I am back and I do wanted to showcase. So I did end up fixing some of the LED, or sorry, the window ports here. As you can see, they actually line up almost pretty perfectly now. I think there's like one or two that are misaligned slightly, so I might go back and try to fix that. But what I ended up using was some clear dry glue, which is what I was using was microcrystal clear. It was recommended in a lot of the hobbyist forums and a lot of the people building the Star Trek model as well. So I decided to use it, and it actually came out really well. There's a few parts, if you notice, I don't know if I can get it to show correctly in the light, but you can see a little bit of dried off glue spots. I can actually get that off with a toothpick. I started doing some of the cleaning, but I realized I'm missing a couple of them. So, but it's very, very easy to clean. You kind of just use a toothpick, or if you really want, I guess you could kind of lightly dampen a Q-tip, just kind of wet it and then dry it off a little bit, and then just start scrubbing it, and it actually scrubs off the glue very easily. And yeah, so that should actually look really good. I'm actually pretty satisfied. It was very painful to do. I basically kind of ended up using a pair of tweezers to pick them up. That's the ones that I'm using right there, the Tamiya craft tools. It worked out pretty well, and just basically put glue on individual ones, each piece at a time, and then laid it in, and everything else is still working pretty perfectly. So, all right, so that's it from there. Now we are on to stage 11. I did get my bulk shipment, so I do need to start recording these in faster increments. But I thought I would go ahead and show you the list of parts first, which we have right here, stage 11. So it's just another part of the saucer here. And if you look very carefully, look, they kind of have the windows, and it looks like they're all kind of done. And I'll show you in a second. I actually much prefer this than putting in the individual windows themselves, but it seems like this is like one time only, based off of the other parts that I've seen, but it's fine. It's not a big deal. It just would have been a nice to have, I think. But anyway, yeah, these are the parts right here. So we're just building another part of the saucer and then attaching a set of windows somewhere. And yeah, and then there's some wires and some screws there. So this is the upper skeleton too, and then we have the left rear windows, left rear reflector, and the window lights. Okay, so let's go ahead and skip on over to the instructions, which are right here. Oh, okay, so we're actually going to continue working on this. Actually, it's perfect. Then I'm glad we kind of pulled out the snake a little bit. Okay, so let me go ahead and first show you. Actually, I'm sorry. Let me go ahead and read the direction. Or you know what? I'm all over the place today. Let me go ahead and show you the parts here. So there they are. And so this is what I was talking about. Let me go ahead and open this up, and then I can show it to you in detail. And what I was talking about is about the windows. Instead of having to put them in individually, they kind of have it as one bracket, which I think is incredible. I don't know why they don't do this for all of them, but I'm sure there's some shipment cost situation there, or I'm sorry, production cost situation there for the reason why they do it that way. Anyway, that is the part. So let me show you in detail. This is what I was talking about. Right? Isn't that way better than having to handle individual pieces? Well, I hope so, but let's see. Yeah, and then they have the cover right here, so that'll actually light them up once you put it on top. And I think, yeah, that's a much more elegant and ingenious solution compared to doing the little windows. But you know what? We'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay, so going over the instructions real fast one more time. I guess I really should have done this first. So stage terminal assembly. In this stage, several decks gain their aft port side windows along with LED lighting to give them a lifelike glow. I'll be the judge of that. Meanwhile, the saucer structure continues to expand. So not too exciting. It's actually steps A, B, C, D, and that's it. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. So hopefully this will be a quick video. Go ahead and put the instructions off to the side. We'll go and pull the snake out again and turn it upside down like that. Now what I'm going to do, actually I do have one here. What I started doing is putting a paper towel or something on the underside of this, and the reason for that is so that these parts here don't scratch up while it's sliding along this. This is it's nice to work on, but it ends up scratching and doing damage to the plastic pieces here. So unfortunately, it's just better for me to have something kind of like this on top. Anyway, so what we are going to do is, so step A is actually start by carefully inserting the left rear pin Windows 11B into the appropriate recesses on the back of the battle rear section. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and it looks like we're going to go ahead and take this piece. Actually, no, I'm sorry. Where? Oh, right here. This piece right here. And we're going to go ahead and slot it in here. And the nice thing about this is if the windows line up correctly, yeah, it just slots in without much trouble there. So if I turn this over, that's what it looks like. Oh my gosh, yeah, that looks pretty darn good. I wish they had done that for the rest of the sections, but it's okay. Okay, so we just slot it in there, and it looks like it's fitting. So it says identify the rear lighting and carefully bend it. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and take, I believe it'll be this set of wires. No, I'm sorry. It's this set of wires. I'm sorry. I don't know if it makes a difference, but I try to keep them aligned. So it's showing me the black and yellow ones, which is this one right here. And it's basically telling me, sorry, I should show it to you right here. And it's telling me to bend it at a 90-degree angle so that it goes in correctly. So this is kind of how they have it shaped. And then when you bend it, that's kind of how they want it. And okay, so they're both going to kind of go right here into the slot. I don't know if I can show it to you. Where is my... There it is. We're going to slide the LEDs into these slots right here. And actually, it looks like we're doing two different sets of lights. That's interesting. Okay. So it's going to be the black and yellow ones from here, and the green and yellow ones from this set. So there's two different sets that we're actually plugging in. Oops, excuse me. That's not going to make it difficult at all. We'll see how this goes though. So either way, we're going to bend that. So we have two sets of cables, and the green and yellow ones are going to go on top, and then the black and yellow ones are going to go on the bottom. Now let me see how I'm going to do this. Okay, they actually fit and kind of fit in a little bit snug like that, but I don't know if this is going to hold for me. What if I did that? Nope, that's not going to work either. Okay. I'll figure this out here in a second. Anyway, I think what we're going to just do, though, this is pretty straightforward. You basically put both LEDs there, and then we're going to slot this right on top of it. So that's not too bad. So let me see here. Oh, I see. Okay, so it's going to go... Nope, I'm sorry. Like that. How about I do it correctly first, huh? Okay, so I believe that's how it's going to go. My only concern is it's not... Oh, I guess it's kind of holding it in. Okay. I'm not too thrilled with the way it's holding the LED in there. It doesn't feel like it's actually holding it in place. And in fact, I can almost just slide it in and out. There we go. Okay, so we both have them in place there. And then we are going to go ahead and take our screws and screw these guys in. I think once the screws are in place, that'll probably help hold it in place a little bit better. So we're going to go ahead and use our BP screws. You could either, I think, use some extra spares that you had from before, or just open up a fresh pack. I've just been kind of opening up a fresh pack just in case there's some chance that the screws are made a little bit differently. Okay, And you want to just kind of put a soft screw in there. Don't push it in too hard because this is plastic, remember, that we're working with. And sometimes if you screw it in a little bit too hard, you might shear the screw or the mount that it's supposed to go into. Just put it in just enough so that you start feeling some resistance as it gets near the end, that's all. Now, I wanted to also make sure that the screws are in correctly. I apologize. I know there's a lot of wires coming in and out, but if I kind of hold it up like this, I can see that they are actually sitting in their slots there. So as soon as I tighten these, they'll be fine. Okay, so without any other further worries, I'll go ahead and screw in the other two. Oops. Apologies, the screw is just not sitting on the end of the screwdriver like I wanted to. There we go. Okay, yeah, so nice and firm, just enough to kind of get it in there, but not too much that it's going to feel like it's going to break or something. And the last thing we want is for this to break, especially because the two LEDs don't hold too securely in there, so I just want them to sit right. Okay, so that's it right there. So that part is done now. So we're actually done with this snake part for this section, and we're going to work on this guy right here. And so we're going to be switching off from the BP to the BM screws. BM screws are a little bit thicker and a little bit more pronounced because I think we're holding in more secure parts. Oops, sorry, didn't mean to move the camera there. We're trying to build out the main frame of it, so I think it just needs a little bit a sturdier screw, and that makes sense. Okay, so pulling out the frame, we have it right here, and it looks like, so we're moving on. That was step C there for the screws, and then we're just going to go ahead and assemble this into here and make that step D. And so here, let me move this. This is now starting to get big. I'm gonna have to think of a different camera setup to show this all correctly, but there it is right here. And it's pretty straightforward, yeah. You see the screws right here. This is from previously built components, and we're just going to go ahead and screw this in here. Not too bad this time at all. Actually, a lot of them haven't been too bad. Really going back and gluing in the windows was the hard part. The rest of the videos have been pretty straightforward. Not that much difficulty. In fact, if I wasn't recording videos, I'd probably jam out like a bunch of them right away. But it's all good. I think doing the videos is just good for me in general. You know what? That screw did not go in correctly. It's my fault for trying to hurry it. I apologize. Sometimes what I do is if it doesn't go in correctly, I'll go ahead and unscrew it completely. And I'll go and move it to a different slot just so that I get a fresh fitting. And that way, if this one doesn't screw in correctly, then I know something's actually wrong with the screw and that I should probably swap it out. Now this one I am seeming to have some trouble, so what I'm just going to go ahead and do is leave that for a second. I'll revisit it and try out a different screw in here. Okay, so that held much, much better. These ones you can put a lot more force into because this is metal on metal. And so the hope is that they are much more durable, and so they should be able to screw in a little bit better. I'm going to go ahead and swap out that screw. You just noticed that I took it out completely, just because it didn't work on two of them. So when it doesn't work on two of them, I start to get a little bit antsy about it. And they have spare screws anyway, so. And yeah, this one's going in way better. Okay, much more flush. Okay, and that's basically it for step 11, or sorry, stage 11. You know what? It's actually still a little bit loose. I'm going to go ahead and revisit the screws here and just make sure everything is screwed in as tightly as possible, because I don't want the frame to move, especially once we start assembling other things on top of this. And I think it was actually just this back screw that was a little bit loose. I just need to retighten. Yeah, that's much better. Okay, so that's basically it. Now I'm trying to show it to you, and I apologize again, but there it is. There's the whole half of the front saucer there, or at least the frame there, or as close to half of it as I can think. I think it's probably closer to 40%, because I think there's the bottom and top part that's missing there. Anyway, so that's it for stage 11. Again, I do apologize for such a delay in videos. I know it's been quite a few weeks, but I just had a bunch of stuff going on. I am going to try to putting out videos a lot faster, and now that I actually fixed some of the pieces with the glue and stuff, I can kind of carry forward without worry of having to go back and undo a bunch of stuff. Okay, so with that, I will see you guys next time for stage 12. Take care and have a good day now. Bye.